When you're looking at a 65-inch interactive display, the first thing that usually pops up in your mind is, do I really need all that? I've seen a lot of people go for the cheap tablet-sized touchscreens that promise a big picture experience for a fraction of the price, only to end up with a surface that doesn't hold a charge, a laggy pen response, and a speaker system that sounds like a tin can. The regret is real when you realize you spent more time troubleshooting than actually using the screen. So, is the Samsung Pro 65-inch 4K interactive display a smarter buy, or just a pricey version of the same old problems? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the core dilemma most buyers face. You need a display that can handle both collaboration and media consumption, but you also want it to be simple enough that you don't need an IT team on standby every time you power it on. I've spent the last few weeks setting up a handful of these in different environments: an office conference room, a creative studio, and a classroom. In each case, the biggest question was, will the built-in speakers be enough, or will I still need external audio? Because with a 65-inch screen size, the expectation is that you can go from a sales presentation to a team brainstorming session without plugging in a separate sound system. The Samsung Pro comes with a 4K touchscreen that feels genuinely responsive. When I tested the pen latency on a few design apps, the lag was virtually unnoticeable, something that matters a lot for graphic designers who need to see every stroke in real time. That immediacy isn't just a nice to have, it translates into faster decision-making during client meetings, and it eliminates the frustration of "I'm drawing, why isn't the line showing up yet?" On the software side, the built-in SmartView Plus platform automatically detects when you connect a laptop and mirrors the screen without you having to fiddle with cables. I tried both wired HDMI and wireless Miracast connections. The wireless link stayed stable for the entire 2-hour demo, which is a big win for teams that move around a lot. Now, let's dig into the audio. Samsung marketed the built-in speakers as a peace of mind feature, but in real use the sound is more like functional than spectacular. In a quiet conference room, the speakers are loud enough to be heard clearly at the back of the table. For typical voiceover presentations or a quick video clip, they do the job without distortion. However, when you raise the volume to fill a larger space or play music with deep bass, the sound starts to thin out, and you'll notice the lack of punch. If your workflow includes regular media playback or you plan to use the display for client demos that involve music, you might still want a separate soundbar or external speakers for a richer experience. One of the less obvious strengths of the Pro model is the universal pairing system. You can pair a Bluetooth keyboard, a wireless mouse, or even a set of Bluetooth headphones in just a few taps, and the device remembers the last 3 paired peripherals. In a classroom setting, this meant students could quickly sync their devices during a collaborative exercise, and the teacher could switch between a wireless presenter and a laptop without missing a beat. The downside? The pairing UI isn't as intuitive as the Apple ecosystem. There's a small learning curve for people who aren't used to navigating multiple Bluetooth menus. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something to keep in mind if your team isn't tech-savvy. So, who should really consider the Samsung Pro 65-inch? If you're a medium-sized business that runs frequent brainstorming sessions, a design studio that needs a reliable, high-resolution canvas, or an educational institution looking to replace old projectors with a more interactive solution, this display hits a sweet spot. The combination of a responsive touch layer, built-in collaboration tools, and a straightforward connectivity suite covers the majority of day-to-day scenarios. Additionally, the durability of the screen thanks to Samsung's reinforced glass means it can survive the occasional bump in a busy office or classroom without worrying about cracks. On the flip side, if you're a home user who mainly wants a TV for movies, or a small startup that's okay with a basic screen plus external speakers, this model probably overshoots your needs. You'll end up paying a premium for features you won't use, like the enterprise-grade security layers and the 4K touch precision. Moreover, anyone on a tight budget should weigh the cost against the possibility of buying a standard 4K monitor and adding a separate speaker system, especially if you already have a sound solution that works for you. A practical weakness that became evident during the office trial was the heat management. In a room with the lights on all day, the back of the unit warmed up noticeably after several hours of continuous use. It didn't affect performance, but you'll want to make sure the display has enough clearance for ventilation, particularly if